Good evening. My name is Yolanda Dean, and I would like to welcome you to the SAAM Poetry Virtual Open Mic Night. I'm sorry. As you know, April is National Poetry Month. The Women's Center mission statement: supporting survivors of violence and promoting a safer community in Southern Illinois. We are here for a night of poetry in honor of Sexual Assault Awareness Month, sponsored by the Women's Center. Poets will be reading their own poetry or the works of others. Special guest poet Samuel Hawkins will be reading his original work at the end of the evening. My poem is titled Unity. The author is unknown. I dreamt I stood in a studio and watched two sculptures there. The clay they used was a young child's mind, and they fashioned it with care. One was a teacher. The tools she used were books, music, and arts. The other, a parent, working with a guiding hand and a gentle, loving heart. Day after day, the teacher toiled with a touch that was deft and sure, while the parent labored by her side and polished and smoothed it over. And when at last their task was done, they were proud of what they had wrought. For the things they had molded into that child could neither be sold nor bought. And each agreed they would have failed if each had worked alone, for behind the teacher stood the school, and behind the parent, the home. Our next poet will be Stephen Tarver. His poem is titled A Conversation is Needed.
Good afternoon, everyone. There are so many interesting stats and information for this nationally recognized campaign you can find, from as early as the 1970s up to when it was officially proclaimed by President Barack Obama in 2009. Stats like every 73 seconds an American is sexually assaulted, and it's becoming the most widespread crime in the US of A, mainly because the instances are also the most unreported. Stats say that only 5 out of every 1,000 perpetrators in jail will not even spend one day. Some say that there's more. It also says that there's more than 42 million sexual abuse survivors in America today. I say no way. That alone should make you concerned enough to pick a bone. A conversation is definitely needed, I say. So let's first talk about the adults. That's right. Men and women both suffer from this crime. Approximately 1 out of 6 women and 1 out of 10 men have experienced sexual coercion in their lifetime. What is that? I'm glad you asked. Even I had to Google the word to see. It's when you are being worn down by someone asking for sex, usually putting pressure using their influence or authority. Meaning so many workplaces and organizations and even churches have become very uncomfortable to dwell. Yet because of financial strain, the want for political or social gain, the prey remains silent, operating in lustful-filled hell. And those are surprisingly grown people that is educated and of legal age to speak. Some more alarming data I read: adolescents aged 14 through 17, they said, are the real ones these immoral creeps seek. Said 1 out of 6 girls and 1 out of 10 boys will be sexually abused before they turn 18 years old. And this worldwide web we call the internet only increased the amount of underage sexual soliciting because now the keyboard freaks are electrically bold. So before we continue talking about teenage behaviors, let's examine this written text. Those children that were sexually assaulted are 5 times more likely to cause teenage pregnancies, 3 times more likely to have multiple partners, and 2 times more likely to have unprotected sex. Oh, and the sad part, I need you to hear this. It's all factual, no fable or myth. It's that 80% of sexual assaults are committed by someone the victim has an intimate relationship with. Relatives we call kinfolk, religious leaders we call preachers, elementary through high school teachers, dates and mates, they all are on the list, causing targets to shy away due to fear of unbelief or emotional pressure from reporting crimes like this. Unfortunately, the occurrences continue as the numbers of those traumatized also increase. The wounded are now speechless as we wonder why in this hectic world there's no peace. See, we have to talk about the rights to be treated with dignity and respect and how to protect self-esteem at all costs, even if it means confronting a sexually aggressive leader or a I hold your position in check type boss. Our words must be conversed to our small children and young adults who feel they know it all. Encourage them to trust their instincts so when approached with trickery, they don't fall. We need to have open conversations about setting limits on the touching of their body parts and how that applies to everyone. I mean, everyone, strangers and those dear to their hearts. Chat with them about being extra careful dealing with social media and share stories with abuse of minors that you may find. Explain to them what happened and how they should react if it occurs to them. Establish ways of handling abuse and assault in their mind. Be involved in their relationship with friends and adults in and outside your home. You should be well informed of the person and environment before delicate children should be left alone. See, this battle against sexual assaults due to lack of communication, it can be easily defeated and easily superseded. But first we must understand and realize a conversation is needed. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Tarver. That was a great poem. Our next poet will be Carmen with Still I Rise by Maya Angelou. Take it away, Carmen.
Oh, good evening. Mine is Still I Rise by Maya Angelou. You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may tread me in the very dirt, but still like dust I rise. Does my sassiness upset you? Why are you beset with gloom? 'Cause I walk like I got oil wells pumping in my living room? Just like moons and like suns with certainty of tides, just like hopes springing high, still I rise. Did you want to see me broken? Bowed head and lowered eyes, shoulders falling like teardrops, weakening by my soulful cries. Does my haughtiness offend you? Don't you take it awful hard, 'cause I laugh like I got gold mines digging in my own backyard. You may shoot me with your words. You may cut me with your eyes. You may kill me with your hatefulness, but still, like air, I rise. Does my sexiness upset you? Does it come as a surprise? Like I dance, like I got diamonds at the meaning of my thighs. Out of the hurts of history's shame, I rise. Up from the past that's rooted in pain, I rise. I'm a black ocean leaping and wide. Welling and swelling, I bear in tide. Leaving behind the nights of terror and fear, I rise. Until a daybreak that's wondrously clear, I rise. Bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave. I am the dream and the hope of the slave. I rise. I rise. I rise. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Carmen. We can never hear that poem too much. Our next poet will be Nancy Maxwell with I Was a Statistic. Take it away, Nancy. Nancy, you may be muted.
And I was reading so good. Okay, let me start again. I was a statistic, a number written in black ink on a white page. I fit the perfect description of racism and stigma. Young teen mother swollen with child and holding the hand of another. A dropout, only glancing briefly at the ninth grade before passing it by. I wasn't supposed to make it, but here I am. My parents, who traveled that middle class road, only to end up on a street called No Hope, cooking hot meals on the stove to no meals, and cold bones and shivering hands. Stove now equals heat and warmth, and it paints the wall black. I wasn't supposed to make it, but yet here I am. Mother's mind left to parts unknown, never to return. Daddy speaking, always drinking. Who's taking care of the wandering kids? Nobody, is whispered to silent ears. I wasn't supposed to make it, but yet here I am. I mimicked my father's actions, enjoyed the freedom away from parental hands. They should have guided me along the way, but they were lost to alcohol and mental health. Wait, aren't those the same, only called by a different name? Awakened from a drunken slumber in the wet dew of the morning grass. It was only a matter of time. I wasn't supposed to make it, but yet here I am. Older is wiser and must be the best. He knew everything. I knew nothing. He excited me. I drank with him. We made forbidden love. He called, I came, no matter how many times, no matter how much time had passed. I came, we drank. I see lots of faces, hands touching all over, one by one by one. I can't say no. I'm in a daze, a thin fog. My lips are trembling, but remain silent in a silent betrayal. From a bond of invisible glue, I try, but I can't move. I feel the wet drips of sorrow, and then the quiet darkness. A story planned to be spoken, only from a closed grave. I shouldn't have never made it, but yet here I am. I count 1, 2, 3, 4. I leave one to get one, all the same. Always wanting to tangle with fists in an intimate dance with my face. Black eyes, broken nose, cut glass. My children are watching, now repeating. I shouldn't have made it, but yet here I am. Shots fired, bullet to the head, blood splattered on walls. Phone drops, knees lock. He told me so. Wrote letters about the deed. He promised to take me with him on a road I never wanted to travel. I'm left with 3 little ones and 1 smoking gun. I think about the brown, smooth drink that used to comfort me so, but I see six eyes looking at me. I got to keep going for their sake. I wasn't supposed to make it, but yet here I am. Tires screech, 18 wheels approach fast, SUV smash compact, passengers DOA, left with only black tire tracks all over the highway and sweet memories. 8 new eyes, look at me, deja vu, I've been here before. I got to keep going, they need me. I wasn't supposed to make it, but yet here I am. Close to the light at the end of the tunnel, degree is in reach. Long roads have been traveled, lost many along the way. Mother, father, brother, just to name a few. Never gave up, always trying, but not always succeeding. Keep going on, nevertheless. I was a statistic written in black ink on a white page. Remember, I wasn't supposed to make it, but yet here I am, here I stand.
Well, thank you, Nancy. That was a wonderful poem. And our next poet will be Majesty. And her poem is titled Preacher's Daughter. Take it away, Majesty.
Hello, everybody. How are you doing this evening? My name is Majesty Gunn, and yes, as she said, Preacher's Daughter. The pressure of the phrase Preacher's Daughter presses down on my memory like elephants on small balls. His words tremble in my legs for the rest of my life. His soft breath of persuasion rings on my pores like rain in April. I don't know who I am anymore. I do know I knew too much to be conquered like this because I know that's how he sees me. Conquered, another daughter in his repertoire. I hate the smell of shame. I can't get the scent off my body. The scent sticks like Sunday school scriptures. I thought me holding my breath could signal a stop, but it signaled only an entrance into my body. The Bible says he washes us clean, but I keep using the devil's soap bar. Temptation bubbles and lather my body. He said, the preacher's daughter, huh? And I heard, you just how they say you are. And I did. I lived up to the expectations of society, lived up to what they said I'd become. Maybe I wanted to be their version of the preacher's daughter. Maybe I wanted to embody somebody interesting, someone worth listening to. As he sleeps in our sin, I sink into my actions or lack thereof. I notice his crossed earrings and realize how I crucified Jesus once again, how his blood still can cleanse me. This daughter of a preacher's daughter, he leaves the 99 to find the one. I got lost again, but he keeps coming after me. I don't know how he loves me that much. I know I don't love me that much. I guess you can say I was testing the limits of God's love for me. I am not surprised when his back is towards me while Jesus pleads on his right for me. And I swear with my hand on the Bible, I'll never do it again, knowing the court has no justice in sight, but it's partially because I became the judge, started dismissing things in my own life. He doesn't know this daughter's middle name, don't know her dreams and aspirations, but can tell her how she feels. I'll tell you how I feel. Scared, alone, and like I haven't heard a sermon in months. Thank you.
Thank you. Lovely poem. Our next poet will be Marissa. And the name of her poem is Click Clack. Take it away, Marissa.
Click, clack, click, clack. This double Dutch is like a soundtrack. These memories stuck on repeat. I feel the defeat and I wander through my head. Like the streets I grew up on, I know these streets well. And that house I come up on, there he stands. My cousin with outstretched arms and open hands. I walk into his embrace, knowing if I didn't, the hell I would face. He whispers lowly and pulls slowly. I feel the pain as he walks in with that jump rope in hand. And again, he ties me to the bed, covers my mouth with his hand, then stop. My world's spinning like a top. And I reach for my heart, but boom, I'm back in my room. Click, clack, click, clack. No one knows these scars on my back or what happened when a bunny fights back. And you wonder why I'm scared of kids' toys.
Thank you, Marissa. Our next poet will be Stephanie, and her poem is titled Unbreakable. Take it away, Stephanie.
Hi, I'm not going to put on video because I was having an issue with my reception. Yes, it's called Unbreakable. How does a child's game take away my innocence? I don't know, but I don't want to play anymore. Insecure because I know everyone can see I'm not the same Mia that I used to be. Shadows lay behind every door, voices in my head I can't ignore, and still no one can see my heart pounding so loud. I'll pretend it didn't happen, shove it all the way down, swallow it whole like medicine. I'll keep taking the pain and never let anyone in, shuffling through life all bruised up and battered, unbreakable on the outside, but the inside is all shattered. I hate the person looking back at me, So I looked for love in all the wrong places. Any face that will smile back at me, because I've been in some dark places. But those smiles were replaced by wicked grins and strong hands trying to take my breath. And in that moment of demise, I decided I had something left. That life may not be fair or what we would expect, but you have the power to change your story as long as you have breath. So breathe for all the times you thought that you weren't able. You love yourself again, because truly you're unbreakable. I'm not saying it will be easy, but look at what's at stake. Remember all the things you've endured and that you didn't break. Hold your head up to the sky, because it is unmistakable. Though things have come to break you down, you're truly the unbreakable.
Thank you. Thank you. That was a lovely poem. Our next poet will be Samuel Hawkins. The title of his poem, I guess, is 1201, God's Forgiveness, Something We Should Have Told Her. All right. Samuel, let's hear what he should have told us.
Still muted. Yeah, man, I gotta definitely take a moment to everybody that spoke and just all the stories and the bravery. Man, thank you for sharing, guys. Yeah, I'll go ahead. Something we should have told her. One, out of 3 women knows of a friend that wants their current romantic relationship to end because their partner sends affection in the form of fist and finger wrap throat. So when she says he left me breathless, it's a bad joke. With a punchline hard enough to knock hope from her dreams like a drunk boxer. 80% of these young ladies that are the object of his temper will continue to date their abusers and won't remember the lyrics sent from their grandmother's lullabies, lassoing infinite possibilities, baby. You can be anything you want to be in this world except beautiful when another man looks at you. In fact, don't look at other men. Keep your head down. Don't speak when spoken to. I'll speak for you. Don't you appreciate everything I've done for you? So ungrateful. Why do you make me so angry? I'm not jealous. I just love you more than you love yourself. That's why let me hit you. That's let me stab you. That's let me shoot you and kill your children, but baby. I'm sorry. You couldn't comatose my anger. I guess you could say it was your fault. No. It was never your fault. And 4 women from that 80% are killed by their partners, daily murdered. So what kind of laws are we shielding? Are we protecting when our current laws aren't shielding families from the deranged fathers that have killed them? And one story from the 4 stories today isn't an insignificant, isolated incident when we know the names of the innocent, when we mention it. So please mention it over and over and over again until the cycle of violence ends, and send a postcard prayer to the doorstep of hope and beg her to keep her porch light lit for the family that never quit believing that little girl was coming home. No, little girls are not coming home. Listen to me. Alexandria Colgate was beaten to death with a curling iron in her dorm room. She was 18 years old. She never came home. Sylvia Cachet was strangled and drowned in a hotel bathtub by her boyfriend. She was 33 years old. She did not come home. Yardley Love beaten to death in her Virginia Tech apartment. She would have been my age today. We were born on the same month and year, but she never came home. And Catherine German was ran off a New York City road and stabbed to death by her jealous boyfriend. She would have been, she was only 20 years old. They had a 1-month-old daughter. She would never know her mother and must learn to forgive her father. See, baby girls are being ripped from the home, and don't go with the victim blaming, but Catherine had already did her part and issued a restraining order. But like German infiltrating Austrian borders, her boyfriend breached an agreement that can never be policed. My question is, how can a spouse beat their partner to pieces only to be released with a restraining order? But if a man of my color is caught with a little marijuana, he's given 5 years in prison. We need to end the war on drugs and start the war on domestic violence. Because one story from the 4 stories today isn't an insignificant, isolated incident if we know the names of the innocent when we mention it. So please mention it over and over and over again until the cycle of violence ends. Oh man. And yeah, I submitted 3 titles. Let me know if I can do the other 2 or just another one.
Yes, Samuel, we got plenty of time. Go ahead.
Okay, I'll keep going. I'll go ahead and do all 3. And I just want to, man, thank you for everybody sharing. Gosh, it just hit me in the heart and stomach. My camera off crying. But anyway, Stephen, he shared, that was powerful about just giving power back to children and letting them have set boundaries. And I just got to say that before I recite this poem. This is called God's Forgiveness. I want to be born again. Resurrect me, yes, God, fine-tune the violin within my throat. I don't want to sing this sheet music anymore. Wake me from nightmares, send me a dream in the form of a drink so I can toast to a new existence. Swallowed by darkness, fear, hatred, and resentment. I wanted to end it. My temple was thirsty for the round, resting like autumn's leaves within the gun chamber. But you, yes, you, subdued my anger. Now God's forgiveness lives here. Below the bellows, where my orchestras used to play, yeah, we should have called the song Swallowing Grenades. I died inside that day, but God's, yes, God's forgiveness lives here. Beneath the pugnacious rusted roots of my heart, my story starts and my childhood stopped. Father, like familiar hands, frisked like 1991 Southern California cops, only 9 years of age, with more luggage than the LAX airport parking lot, powerless, and why speak to ears severely immune to the words? That hurts. Please stop. That hurts. Please stop. I don't want to do this anymore. That hurts. Please stop. Where is my father? That hurts. Please stop. I want my mother. That hurts. Please stop. Where are the heroes, the heroines, the genies with their wishes and fairy tale beginnings? Just stop. But my voice was the only voice there to listen, so I just stopped speaking. And it's hard to pray with no words to say. Curses and laments alike ripped from my lips as if my voice went on strike from the unwelcome invites. But God's forgiveness lives here, and releasing that pain from the past is a path that intercedes with the seeds of forgiveness. When we resist this, the mistrusted thieves deceived by greed, power, and domination leave us winless because it is impossible to fight night with darkness, fire with flames, or hate against hate. It disintegrates the peace we're all trying to administrate. But get it straight, having peace does not require a requisite of passivity when it comes to sexual assault of any type. So whether it be verbal or physical, neither is minuscule. So whether you're at the workplace, college, or middle school, utilize your vocal tools. Learn that your lips are defibrillators. You can save a life with a sentence. So share your story. Never again move your mouth lackadaisically until your words sprout like heaven's daisies, propelled by peace, piercing this atmosphere. And have no fear, because there are voices behind you that support you. Just report truth, and those voices will grow ears and will never ignore you. The night is being painted red with voices we should recognize. Please hear them. Please hear them. Please receive them. Please see them. Please believe them and see them for who they truly are. Where are the heroes and heroines of our day when a survivor can stand before you, tongue trembling like the unsure dreams of children, telling their testimony? I can see the Lord's forgiveness building a building around the pain you've been concealed in, wielding your voice, because the little boys need you. Yes, the little girls need you now. This whole world needs you. So shine your light. Tell your story. No shame, baby. All right. I'm gonna do one more. This is called 1201. And this is yeah, I mean, all of them for survivors, but this one is, it's different. You'll see, it's different. Actually, I'll go ahead and tell the story. I've done a lot of events called Take Back the Night, and events like this just to raise awareness for sexual assault against women and humanity, period. And I got feedback from survivors to like, you know, you tell your story, but like, as far as advocates, it's like, speak to us, you know, give encouragement to survivors and not just for shock value and things like that to other people listening. So that's where this poem came from, called 1201. So you've got me dreaming of a lighthouse, cemented by innocent prayers, propelled from the lips of a gypsy kiss, cursing concrete thoughts that think they know us best. They don't. Can we? Can we truly know bliss if we've never been broken like luckless limbs on a rootless tree, ravished by ruthless winds? Have you ever wanted your life to end? Is a question that hangs thick, heavy, like the news of your parents passing, stone stirred within the stew of sour syrup, midnight darkness on a moonless night, consumed by strife, be moved by life. Because even if you feel like you could die twice, from the rape, from the touch, from the fist, from the words that ripped from your soul last night, now consider this is a rebirth. This is a resurrection. When yesterday's horrors trapped your thoughts like a tomb, this is the other side of gloom, brighter than noon, beckoning to bloom like forgotten flowers frosted by February's breath. This is the forgiveness machine. This is the next step. This is new friends you've met. And their fingers filled with compassion, reaching, yes, pushing you along when you have nothing left. This is secrets you kept but never could keep from God. This is God's breath, revitalizing the treble clef next to your heart sheet music. Yes, this is a song for the broken, a song for those still coping, a song for the many oceans of tomorrow's tears reflecting the past like an emptied hour glass. It is your time. Check the time. It is 12:01. The other side of darkness has already come. Despite anxieties, tambourine tendencies, shaking your bones like a California fault line, sucking on syringes full of Red Bull. Through your darkness, I see light like your moon is full. Through the halls of your eyes, I see heaven's glow, dancing deliverance covered in the color of redemption. There is no need to cover up the constellations captured within your irises. This is where violence gives its final salute. The hatred is moot, and shame, oh no, shame doesn't even deserve access to your booth to vote or vie for your attention. This is where ears always listen. This is what we've all been missing. You want to see hope? You want to see hope? You are life. You are life after Chernobyl, an ocean on Mercury, air in space. Yeah, you want to see hope? Go find a photo of your face through your storm. Your life is a lighthouse, a beacon begging the rest of us to hold on for just a little bit longer while our knuckles are bleeding because the darkness is receding like the moon was too heavy for the night to hold. This is for the fires fueling your soul. The burdens burning beneath your heart's charcoal will manifest manifolds of diamonds gleaming like tomorrow's promises, because it's easy, man, it's easy to live your life faithless if you're unfamiliar with dark spaces. This is for those forgotten little faces, the uncrowned kings and queens that were ripped from their dreams as if they had no worth. This is a moment of silence for those that hurt, a moment of silence for the death of silence within our throats when we hear a rape joke. This is an insurrection against the media-induced societal structural acceptance of violence against women that the world promotes. Yes, this is the new hope. Yeah, this is a new hope. Yeah, this is a new hope without the lone Jedi. This is living when the world said die. This is telling the truth within your testimony when the world said lie. So check the time. Check the time. It is 12:01. The other side of darkness has already come. And even if your arduous journey to forgiveness and healing has just started, take the first step forward. Yes, take the first step forward. And yes, I know you're out there listening. I know you're out there listening. This is for you because you have already won. So definitely share your stories. Realize there's tons of advocates on this call and around the world.
Well, thank you, Samuel. I think I speak for everybody when we say we loved all of your poetry. But now we have time to open it up for anyone who's listening now that has a poem on their heart that they would like to share with us. If you're out there, just let us know. Unmute your mic and we'll gladly listen to your poem tonight. Does anyone have anything they want to share? Well, we would like to thank you for attending. Thank you to all the poets for sharing their poems to raise awareness for victims of sexual assault and violence. You can reach the Women's Center at the Women's Center 24 hours crisis hotline, 1-800-334-2094.